Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Black Book Podcast. I am sitting here with my next guest, Talib Wise, and man, I'm really interested in this guy's story. Man, I met him just like over the internet and stuff like that, and just basically through like wrong text messages, basically. Um, but the message is so interesting. I had to respond, in sort of a goofy asshole way, but he understood what it was, and then we kind of just chopped it up from there. Yeah. So, Talib, man, can you just really quickly just give us a quick background about yourself, like who you are, where you from, what you doing?
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Eric, for having me on, and definitely a pleasure. My name's Talib Wise, born and raised in Chicago from the South Side. Graduated from Simeon High School, and then I went on and played JUCO football in Kansas, then ended up earning a scholarship, University of Nevada. I played football. I'm a sports guy. And after Nevada, I got my dream come true. I was able to make it to the NFL. And I was with my hometown team. I played with the Chicago Bears briefly. And that was a couple years, and it was the best time of my life at that time. But my career didn't go as long as I thought it would. It was short-lived, and I moved on and played arena football. And then after the arena football canceled the season, I went overseas to Europe, and I continued my professional career. I played 6 years in Europe, won 6 championships, 5 MVPs, made the European Hall of Fame. And then things kind of got, I ain't gonna say boring, but I needed another challenge. So I transitioned into coaching, and I started coaching professionally in various countries. Man, it's been a ride, man, and that's what I'm currently doing right now. I'm in between. Well, before the pandemic started, I was in between China. I was in Wuhan, and also Spain.
Well, we gotta talk about that Wuhan thing. Oh man, dude. So like,
yeah,
I didn't even know that much. I didn't know. I didn't know that you were in the NFL, and I didn't know that. So, dude, that's a lot. That's a lot we gotta talk about. So
yeah.
yeah,
I try not to, tell everybody about my business just because, that's just how it is. I'm a personal type of guy. But yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, let's just kind of start at the beginning. So like, what position did you usually play?
Well, all my entire career, I played offense, receiver, running back. But then for some odd reason, when I got to the NFL, the Bears switched me to cornerback.
Okay.
So I had to play DB, which was athletically, I could make the transition, but DB is a position that you need to know and, have experience in. But they switched me because athletically they thought I could make the team like that, and I did. But at that level, if you're not improving every practice, every game, then they don't really have the patience for you like that, because it's a business, it's not personal. And
right.
But it's that short stint in the NFL propelled me to where I am now, just because it was on my resume.
Absolutely.
And,
okay.
And it opened up many doors for me.
So like, I just want to ask you, like, so like, after playing in college, was that transition easy, or no, I don't want to say easy, but like, how was the transition from playing in university to playing in pro leagues?
Everything's just faster. Of course, in college, it's everything's faster from high school. So just imagine it's 2 or 3, 4 steps faster than college. Although the college kids are the best of the best, but then the NFL are even more selective And yeah, the thing about it was just faster. You just have to. Your playbook is your best friend. If
Right.
you lose your playbook, I learned early. If you lose your playbook, you better be you better be ready to either leave because they gonna cut you, or you be ready to pay almost $10,000. Because if you lose your playbook, the least you have to do is pay $10,000
In the NFL, you have to pay
in
them
the
for another
NFL.
playbook.
Yes, because they don't know if it got leaked. They don't know anything. So I guess that $10,000 is some type of, I guess, just exactly.
Reassurance. Okay, yeah, I get that. Wow. All right. So like, I kind of want to get into like, so like, um, for people like I was kind of a sports junkie. I'm not really into sports anymore, but I played high school football, and like I played a year of D3 college. So like, I ain't,
Okay.
I ain't on this. I'm nowhere on the level that you were, or even currently is. So that's neither here or there. But like, I would say like in terms of like average person, I probably know a little bit more about like just football in general. But I want to ask,
Yeah.
like, so when you left or when you were getting ready to leave college and go to the pros, like what was that process like? You know what I'm saying? Like, because on the outside, people know about the first rounders. They know that they get all these pro
Mm.
days, and they get drafted. They get they do all this other stuff like that. Like, did you go through the same thing, or is it like another thing for people who aren't maybe like the top guy, the sought after guys?
Well, it's that's a good question, and it's similar, but it's still different. Obviously, I was not a first rounder, but I was still on many teams' radars. So I had an agent. I hired an agent, but I was still in school. I was in my last semester before graduating.
Right.
So my agent, since I went to school in Reno, my agent bought me an apartment in Sacramento. So I
Okay.
would have to drive. I would have to like go to school for like 2-3 weeks and then go train for another 2-3 weeks.
Mm.
So I would have to drive up to Sacramento because our trainer was the Sacramento Kings head trainer.
Okay.
And they just had many different professional athletes train at their facility. So I was going back and forth from school. I had to finish school because my mom, that was a must.
Right.
But at the same time, though, I had to, go after my dream. And unfortunately, I had to do those at the same time. And sometimes my grades wasn't up a couple of weeks, and then sometimes my workouts wasn't. It's a tough balance. But
Right.
When draft day came, I didn't get drafted, but I got signed, which I didn't know until that day. I thought that if you didn't get drafted, your career was over.
Mm.
But I soon found out, soon as the draft ended, literally 5 seconds after, the phone rang, and it was Chicago Bears asking me, did I want to be a Chicago Bear? And I was confused because my family, they were sad. They thought I was going to get drafted, and I'm down. But then next thing you know, they was like, oh, yeah, we would have drafted you, but we figured we can get you cheaper. And that's when I knew it was not personal. It's all business. It's all about money.
Okay.
And but that's just like anything. If you know you can get somebody cheaper than what you can get them, of course you're trying to do it. That's a smart business move. So I didn't take it personal. I knew I was part of the 1% that made it, and I was just grateful.
Okay. So like in the NFL, like how many, like you mind sharing like how much time you actually spent in the NFL?
Yeah, actually it was a season and a half.
Okay, a season and a half. And so like what like I don't know, were you like on a contract? Was it like sort of day by day for you? Still there?
Can you hear me, Eric?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You kind of went out a bit. Sorry. What? Say that again.
I was saying so for you, were you you know, did you have a contract with the team, or was it something like that was like day by day, week by week type thing?
No. Yeah, no. I had a contract with the team, and it was. I remember. Hold on. Are you on speaker? Because you're low right now.
I'm low.
Okay. I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you now. No. I signed a contract. It was 3-year deal. I even got a signing bonus. I never forget. I had a $5,000 signing bonus, and then I ended up getting my first kind of an endorsement deal. I had a Reebok contract worth $10,000. So pretty
Okay.
much, I get all type of Reebok gear. You know, of course, nobody wear Reebok now, but at the time, Reebok was they was the sponsor of NFL. It
Right.
wasn't Nike. And so, yeah, I was just excited to be there, man. Everybody thought I couldn't make it even to D1, let alone the NFL. So I was just really happy to be there, but also like, okay, I can make this team. Like I was literally on the team the year before the Bears went to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
So
okay.
that team right there, I made. And I still talk to guys, you know, still to this day that was on that team, you know, Lance Briggs, Urlacher, all those guys. And I earned their respect. And so that was kind of it was easy for me to move on with my career that was non-NFL, because as long as I had my peers' respect, then I knew it wasn't about my skill level. It was just a business decision why I didn't make it.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so I didn't know. So I didn't know that you're on that, or you were close to being on that team. So you were there doing the Grossman years.
Oh yeah, I used to intercept Rex Grossman a lot in practice. Him and Kyle and Kyle Orton. Him and that was Kyle
Oh
Orton rookie
yeah,
year. And
yeah. I forget all
you
about
remember
him.
the running back Cedric Benson?
Cedric Benson. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
May he rest in peace, man. He died early this year.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know about that. Was it COVID?
No. He died on a motorcycle accident.
Maybe I heard something about that. Wow, I had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Wow.
crazy because he was the guy. Like we came in as rookies together, but a lot of people what they don't know, it all depends on the first rounders signing bonus. So he signed for like 20 million
Okay.
because he was the number three. He was the number 3 overall pick, but he came to training camp late. So a lot of guys that was contractually on a team like that, but then when his contract came through, it was like we got to let some people go, and
Mm.
it's a totem pole. I was on the bottom of that totem pole, and but like I said, I got a year and a half, and that half was I was on a practice squad, which is you're on a team, you just one injury away from playing.
Right. Yeah, that's understandable. So I
Yeah.
want to ask, like how was like for to being on a pro team, like what's the environment like? What's the locker room like?
It's honestly, it's since you played high school ball, it's just like a high school, but it's just grown men with millions,
Right. Okay.
and they grown men with just they're big kids. They like to show off their toys, all the stuff that they bought, and just by the end of the day, they're professional, and they come in and work every day. But it just so happens that this game that they plan is their actual job,
Right.
and it's a game that they love. So it's not hard to come to work every day when you're in NFL. But at the same time, though, if you're not a first 3-rounder guy, then every day you go into practice like, shit, is it my day? Is it, every day is some type of, like you really got to be on your P's and Q's every day. It's you can make mistakes, I learned, but you cannot make the same mistake twice.
Okay. Is that like something specific to the Bears organization, or that's just like an NFL thing? Or
That's NFL.
Thing?
That's just pretty much pro sports. As long as you're coachable and you just don't make the same mistake twice. Like you can make 10 different mistakes, but because they figure, okay, he keep making the same mistake, then at this level, team's going to take advantage of that. That's how they think. It's not always true, but that's how they think.
Right.
It's really, like I say, it's the greatest feeling if you're a football player to get to the highest level. But the stress that comes with it it's the only time you get to pretty much just have a sigh of relief is once that 53-man roster's out and you made a team.
Right.
But then you can have a sense of relief, but you can't relax, because I've had a close friend of mine, old teammate, this guy made the Raiders, literally made the 53-man roster. That night, went out to party, celebrate.
Right.
Came to meetings the next day, still half drunk, got cut. NFL career over.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a cutthroat business.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
and cut them no slack.
None at all, because you got to understand, all these teams, these are ran by billionaires, and some teams take it more serious than others. But at the end of the day, it's you got to understand it's pretty much like a Fortune 500 company.
Right. Yeah, that's understandable. Like it's a corporation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So yeah, I want to move into you going abroad to play in Europe. I want to know what years were you in Europe?
I was in Europe from 2009. Well, obviously, into currently, I'm there now working, coaching. But as far as playing, I was there from 2009, and then my last year playing was actually in a professional league in China. The CAFL was 2016.
Yeah. Okay. And what country were you in Europe? So where were you playing in?
I was in Germany, Austria, in Russia, Russia and China as far as playing. I mean, we traveled to other countries. Oh man, I gotta tell you, man, Russia is a hidden gem of this world, especially as a Black man. And I know we just met as far as just talking right now, but one of my favorite sayings is, I cannot make this up. And the treatment, put it like this, I get treated better in Russia than sometimes I get treated here in America.
Mm.
And that is one of the biggest, to me, honestly, the biggest misconception about any people is the Russian people. They get the worst rap around the world other than us. In my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I've had some encounters with Russian people before. I mean, because I'm in China, Russia's real close, so there's quite a few Russians here in China. But I do know that, like, especially in American media, they make Russian people look like real tough guys. Sometimes they're idiots, or like sometimes they're like maniacal mad scientist type people and things like that, which it really isn't true.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's always about the way they speak English, because the way they speak English sounds kind of tough, but you actually listen to them in their own language, it doesn't sound very tough at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. But yeah, I have I have a yearly camp in Russia, a football camp. And there's another hidden gem. Like Moscow is nice and great, but it gets cold there. Right. But I found out not all of Russia gets cold every year. There's a city called Krasnodar where you can wear shorts 7 months out the year.
Krasnodar,
in Russia.
Okay.
Yeah, it's near Sochi, where they had the Winter Olympics years ago.
Wow. All right. Yeah. So, man, dude. All right. Let's back this up real quick. So, because I want to make sure we get to everything, but I don't want to take too much of your time up.
It's all good. Maybe we can do a part 2 another time.
Oh, dude, I'm down for that. Yeah. So first, let's get to Europe, man. So like the first time you came to Europe, you were playing as you were a player. Am I correct?
Yeah, I was in 2009. I went to a place called Dresden, Germany. It's in East Germany. It's probably like 2 hours from Berlin.
Okay.
And go ahead.
So, I mean, like I've always known. No, I don't want to say I've always known. I guess since I went to college, I've known that Europe and other countries, countries outside of Europe, they've had American football leagues and things like that. But they're not on TV. You don't really hear about them as much. Like the only one you can really see on TV is like the Canadian League and things like that, which is like, compared to the NFL, it's still not as popular. So I want to know, like, what are these leagues like? You know what I'm saying? what are the contracts like? What's the pay like? What are the fans like? Are people really into it? Things like that.
That's a good question. Well, a lot of people don't know American football became really popular in Europe when they had NFL Europe. I don't know if you heard of NFL Europe.
Like they take teams from the U.S. and play a game in certain places.
No. It was literally like a league. It was called NFL Europe. So every NFL team here in the USA, they would allocate players to the NFL Europe, meaning, all right, we like you, but we think you need some improving.
Okay.
So we're going to send you overseas. And overseas, I think they had, I want to say, almost 10 teams. It was mostly teams in Germany. You had a team in Barcelona. You had a team in Amsterdam. And these are all professional leagues.
Okay.
And the fan base at that time, it was ridiculous. I didn't play. I literally came like a couple years after. Because when NFL Europe was, when I was in the NFL, guys from NFL Europe used to come to training camp. Okay. Meaning if they play NFL Europe, they automatically get a training camp invite to an NFL team.
Okay.
But when guys used to come, and I remember distinctly, guys would come over and they would talk about all the stories like, yeah, man, we was just in Germany and we doing this and that. And I ain't never been overseas before at that time. So I'm looking at them like, what are they talking about? Like, is it really that, I'm thinking they lying and,
right,
fabricating stories and like it can't be that wild. Man, when I got overseas, I realized that they was downplaying it. It's even wilder over there. It's truly another world, man. But a good thing, the fan base, it's when I played in Germany and Austria, specifically Austria. Now, you're not going to believe this, man. Have you heard of Swarovski crystals?
Yeah, Swarovski, yeah.
Yeah. So in Innsbruck, Austria, they were our team owners. They owned our team. Okay. We were called the Swarovski Raiders.
Swarovski Raiders.
Now guess what? We were the so-called sister team of the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
Now, you know, Swarovski's big. They've been in all the movies. They're in all the airports. They everywhere.
Right.
Tell me why the owner, Elizabeth, and her husband, the coolest billionaires you can ever meet, for the championship game in 2011, they flew over the cheerleaders from the Oakland Raiders. They flew them over to Austria so they can cheer for our game.
What? That's
Now,
crazy.
if that, and I got pictures and all that to even verify, but it's, I never imagined the experience I would get overseas. I thought that it was just the NFL and everything else is BS. But that's what they want you to think here in the USA. They think they want you to, yeah, of course, NFL is the coup de grace, the whatever. But there's other leagues out here that you can do or play in because you love the game. I didn't do it for the money, especially the first year. My first year over in Europe, I think I was the lowest paid player. Just put it like that. Right. But I didn't care because I was just playing. All the leagues here in the USA were gone. So I went over there. I earned my due. I ended up making MVP my first year, and then I think like I was the #1 player for the next 4 or 5 years. So I ended up becoming the highest paid player in Europe. And since I was with the #1 team, so what they do over there, you get paid monthly. You know, some teams twice a month, some teams depending on how you got your contract, whatever. But at that time when I was playing the highest paid, I was getting $5,000 a month. Everything paid for. They used to they flew my mom over for free, put her up so she can see my games. It was and then I can say this now on the podcast because not many people that I know yet is listening, but they used to do something specifically just for me, just because, you know, I helped them win, whatever, but they allowed my mom and I to go on a shopping spree in Swarovski World.
What the fuck is what's Swarovski World?
Well, it's pretty much where they make all the Swarovski diamonds.
Like the factory, or just like some off?
Yeah.
Like
no. It's the factory. It's I'll show you pictures later, but it's amazing, dog. But we won the game. So me and my mom, you know, of course, women, they love to shop. So when they hear about Swarovski, like, yeah, we're gonna go there. So we was going there. I was gonna pay, like, we didn't even whatever. Man, we end up seeing the owner downstairs. He was like, where you guys going? We were like, oh, we're going to Swarovski World. He's like, just like, he put his hand up like, just hold up. Man, this man called a private car, had them pick us up. And as soon as he was like, oh yeah, when you get there, whatever you get, don't worry about paying. Man, you should have seen the look my mom looked at me. Was like, what? Dude, we ended up getting what, I didn't want to be greedy. The first time I only got like over $5,000 worth of stuff.
Okay.
It was free. But they let us do it the next year, Eric. I was like, fuck it. I ended up getting, my brother was getting married. I ended up getting him and all my brothers some wedding gifts. Long story short, the bill came out to over $10,000. And this is just because, shit, I helped them win. But It was one of those things where I couldn't tell nobody. She always say, you know, keep this between us just because, you know. But, yeah, man, it was, I was very, to say lucky or blessed, it would be an understatement. You know, I never imagined none of this stuff, man. But I just, you know, kept my faith and just, you know, try to do good, put good out there. I believe in good karma. You put out good, you get good. And yeah, man, it's I haven't even told you a lot of other stuff that I have done or doing and all that stuff. But like I said, we can save those from other shows.
Yeah, but man, I want to get into something else real quickly. So let me just put out your resume real quick. So you, in terms of your European career, you were what you said, 5-time MVP?
Yeah, 6-time champ, 5-time MVP.
5-time MVP, 6-time champ. It was something else you just said to me. It was something else. God.
I made it to European Hall of Fame.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're in the Hall of Fame, which is like crazy. Now, so I want to ask you about the Hall of Fame before I move on to something else. Because usually in the NFL, right, it takes guys years, right, after they unless they were like so electrifying, that like they get into the Hall of Fame as soon as they possibly can. So is that something that happened to you, or it's just kind of like a different sort of environment when it comes to Hall of Fame?
Well, it's different. They got a different committee running it, but I was fortunate enough to be on some great teams, and we won. And now, as you know, if you're American playing overseas in Europe, most teams can only have 2 or 3 on the field at the same time. So they really rely on you. It's not like the USA where it's like 11 on 11 all guys. So. So they really rely on the Americans. They usually have a quarterback as one American, and then the other one usually a skill guy, running back, receiver, or DB, all that stuff.
Okay.
And so I was able to make some plays, and at the end of the day, it's about winning. Right. And when you win championships, people like you, and people tend to cater to you, and whatever you want, or whatever, as long as you help them, they help you.
Okay.
That's just the way of the world,
All right.
But
so after those, after you won your championships and things like that, you decided to just like close the book on your football playing years, and you started coaching. And so did you start coaching in Europe or somewhere else?
I went elsewhere, because technically I never officially retired. It was just kind of like, oh, this opportunity came, let me take advantage of it. So I literally went from coaching. I literally went from playing to being a head coach.
Okay.
And my first head coaching job was in Egypt.
What? Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so I was out in Egypt, and I was in Cairo 2 different times. But my first year we ended up making it to the championship game, but we lost last second field goal. Still, right now to this day, one of the toughest losses I ever had. But then that next year, I got a head coaching job in Turkey. So I went to Istanbul.
Okay.
I was at a Koç University. It's a prestigious university in Turkey. It's like the richest family in all of Turkey, which is Koç, the name Koç.
Okay.
And I had imports, so I was a coach now. So I would bring Americans over as my players, and we ended up winning championship there. We went undefeated, and we won a championship. So that was my first championship as a coach. And after that was Berlin. And then currently I'm the head coach of national team of Spain.
National team of Spain. Okay. Okay.
And so that's what I was doing between China and Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, dude. So, man, that's a whole fucking lot. I want to
My
ask
bad.
you. No, it's all good. I'm glad you're sharing, dude. I'm glad you're sharing, so I can, just come up with more questions and stuff like that. Um, I want to ask about. I've always had this fantasy about football, American football, in Africa, right? So it was crazy
Hmm.
that you said that you were coaching in Egypt. I'm going like, dude, like how well would this sport do in Africa and things like this?
Oh yeah, as we all know, we the best athletes, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's the only thing that hinders Africa is obviously the coaching. They don't have the proper coaching
right.
and the equipment. They don't have access to all the equipment. Like it takes
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
months just it takes a lot just to even get there. Through customs and all this stuff. Just because when most people who've never seen football equipment, they look at it, they like, what the hell is this stuff? They think you may be transporting some other stuff in there. So
Right.
it's always that type of dilemma there.
Okay. All right.
But it's yeah, football is all around. It's in South Africa. It's growing more and more. It's in Dubai. It's in the UAE. Um, it's in Jordan. It's in Israel. It's in.
So what's the so like let's say there's a guy from America. He's just like you and I, but he didn't get a chance. Unlike you, he didn't get a chance to go to the NFL. Maybe he wasn't good enough. He didn't get drafted. What would be his what are the steps he needs to take to get on a team somewhere in Europe or any of those other places you coached?
Okay, well, obviously it's it's either who you know over there. See, that's how I got over there initially. One of my old coaches from college, he was coaching in Germany. Like when I was in college at the time, he was coaching in Germany. So he used to come back and tell us these stories. Yeah, such and such. And when I got released from the NFL, he called me and was like, "Yeah, I heard the news, such and such, but we want you overseas now." And at that time, I didn't know nothing about it. So I had to make a decision between overseas and arena football. I chose
Okay.
arena. I did that for 4 years, and then arena shut down. And I ended up emailing my coach, was like, "Coach, what's up? You need a player?" And it just so happened I was in luck. But if you don't have that personal, connection or contact like I had, there are a
Right.
couple of outlets called Europlayers.com, and that's a website where, as a player, you go in there and it's like any type of job interview. You upload your resume, your playing resume, your film, and all this stuff, and you post it on there. So now teams all around Europe, whatever country, they can go on that website and click on your name or your position, look at your highlights, and if they like you, they'll contact you.
Okay.
So it's two platforms. There's one called Europlayers, and there's another one called Podium.
Okay. Euro players and
So
podium.
it's a lot of guys are reaching out now, trying to get overseas now, because when I was coming overseas, it was talented guys, but it wasn't big on the market. But every year now, guys from the NFL get signed from Europe. Like they're born in. I had a guy. He just got signed by the New York Giants. He's an
Okay.
Austrian kid. I swear, if you look at him, you'd be like, ain't no way he can even play high school football in America.
Mm.
But that boy can play. And the Giants gave him a chance, and now he's on the practice squad with the New York Giants as a running back.
Okay. Okay.
So it's becoming more and more popular. The NFL, they know that all the talent is not in the USA. So they go into Europe, they go into Asia, they go into Africa, they go into all these places trying to find that next talent, because they, obviously they want money. So they want to get as many different type of players. Like, for instance, that message that pretty much got us connected on this show.
Right.
That was a team in Germany. it's a new professional league in Germany that's starting up in May. But they specifically asked for my guy Shadai in China because their GM told the coaches, like, we want a bigger Asian market. And my coach was like, oh, I got a guy who tried to, he's my client. So I told him about it before, but the opportunity wasn't there.
Okay.
So now a new opportunity came up, and that's when he contacted me. And so that's what, how on WeChat, I'm thinking I'm texting somebody, and next thing you know, I'm thinking about myself, I'm like, I know I sent him that message. Why he ain't answer me? And next thing you know, I look at the message like, oh, shit. I had realized I sent it to the wrong group.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Message was sent to good company, so we just know how to. We're nobody tripping about that.
yeah, I appreciate that. I'm just like, damn. But then, but yeah, it's a process where it's like, obviously with COVID going on right now, there's no true timetable for anything. Nobody knows about nothing. But if and when the league will be a go, then they do want my Chinese client.
Or he's Chinese from China.
Oh yeah, he's born and raised in Wuhan, but
okay,
he went to school in Canada, so his English is a lot better than your average Chinese.
Okay.
Plus, he played in that professional league in 2016, the one I was telling you about.
Right. Okay.
So he'd been like that league was half Americans, half Chinese.
I know about that league. Yeah, that's the league that Michael Brown was in.
Yeah. Actually, they had a team. There was a team in Chengdu.
Yeah, they had a Chengdu team. Yeah, I was actually like, we could talk about this more off script, but like I was actually looking to like see if I could try to get involved. I wasn't thinking about playing, but I was like, I'll do anything else and things like that. Yeah. But like as far as I know right now, it's been shut down for a couple of years. I think I don't know what actually happened.
Yeah.
Somebody told me it was something about advertising or something like that. I don't know.
It was a lot of stuff. That's a whole other story. We'll talk about that. But pretty much, long story short, in 2016, they put almost 20 million. No, I'm tripping. Almost 10 million into that entire league.
Okay.
And it was great. Like the setup and how they had it was excellent. But the only problem was they didn't educate the local Chinese people enough. They don't know what they're looking at. They only know basketball, soccer, where it's like it's really like anybody can pick up on that game.
Right.
All right, yeah, you kick the ball in the net or you shoot the ball in the hoop or you dunk it or whatever. They know that. Yeah. But in football, it's so many aspects and man, they was cheering on the most irrelevant stuff. And you like somebody scored a touchdown, great diving catch, silence. But as soon as somebody kicked the ball off, just a regular kickoff, they and you like, okay, that's the problem right there. They don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah. I know that.
And so all these arenas was, we had them packed and whatever, but these investors that put their money up, they didn't really see much of a return on it. And you know how it is. And if you putting in hundreds of thousands, millions, and I ain't seen nothing back, I'm not about to put it again and again.
Yeah, that's true.
So they tried to have something last year, but it's like kind of like arena thing outside. It was watered down. When I say watered down, really watered down. Okay. But they just want to put something out there just to say that they had another season, but it was nothing like the first one.
Okay. Well, man, dude. I feel like we can go all day. But I'm gonna cut it off right here, man. I got 1,000 more questions, but we'll get up another time. But usually tradition on my show is at the end of the show, I always give. First off, before I do this, you know, for anybody who's listening, anybody who's interested in football, either in America or either in in another country, man, are you open to being in contact with them? And if so, give them, you can drop a plug for for people who are actually going to be interested in this stuff like this. I don't think people who aren't going to be interested, they're not going to hit you up like that. But people who are, they might, who listen to the show.
No, yeah, of course. I'm all about helping out others and pass along the knowledge because, it was passed along to me. So, yeah, it's all about helping those who want to learn. So, I got social media, Facebook, Instagram, or email. So it all depends on which platform they would like to contact me at. Just my name, they can look me up. Both platforms is Talib, Talib as in boy, and my last name Wise, Wise.
Cool. All right, and so like I was saying, tradition on the show is to always give the guest the last word, and then we end. So right now, I'll give you the floor. You can say anything you want to say, and then we'll end.
Well, I appreciate you having me on the show. It was definitely a pleasure. It's so many things for us to talk about and break down. So I do look forward to being on the show again if you want me back. And yeah, man, I just want to let everybody know that the world outside of America is not what it seems, especially for us as Blacks. They kind of teach you here that, yeah, everybody else hates you. Like, yeah, we hate you here too, but they hate you worse. So you might as well stay here. And that's just the quite opposite. I've gotten more love abroad than I do here in America. And it's not even them about them knowing who I am or what I do. This just off the strength of just me being a human being. And that's why I have been gone so long and continue to work overseas, because they treat you how you treat them. If you treat them like an asshole, yeah, you'll be treated as such, which is how it should be. Treat me how I treat you, but don't treat me based on just how I look or how my skin color is.
Right.
But yeah, it's I've enjoyed my travels overseas, and I look forward to more stamps.
Absolutely. And I appreciate those. Appreciate you saying that. I've been trying to get people to open their eyes and get that passport, get them visas, get them stamps, man. Take them.
Man, it gets addicting once you really start to travel.
Right.
Because now you see a different perspective. You see, it's different how you think now, but once you leave America and see how other places live and treat their people, and then you come back here, you be like, hold up, something wrong. So, yeah, so I just continue to try to learn and educate myself, and just travel and just experience this world. I don't think we're meant to be in one place.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just let me know when you want to do a episode again, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about my life. I'm doing some filming now. I do some background acting on TV shows.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you were. I think I was looking at your WeChat moments. I think this is from like a year ago though. You were on the set of Chicago Fire.
Oh yeah. So I do. I've done, well, including the one I'm doing on Saturday, I'll be doing 8 TV shows now. I've done Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med. You remember the show The Game that used to be on BT?
Yeah.
I did one episode of that when I was in Atlanta. I did Empire.
Okay.
And these 2 new shows that I just got booked on, one called Ordinary Joe I just did, and then the one I do Saturday is called The Big Leap.
Big Leap.
So
okay.
I just do this while I'm here in the States, just to honestly just to keep me busy and to do something, and just the experience, just to say I was, you know, in the movies and TV and all that. So it's been quite a journey. But our next episode, we can talk about that.
Absolutely. All right, but we're gonna end right here, man. So I'm Eric Charles. This is Talib Wise, and man, that's the Black Book Podcast. I'm just on a mission. I'm trying to live my dream.